What is up, everybody? Welcome once again to my YouTube channel, and today let's continue with episode 20 of our Manor Career modes. And today we are at round 20 of the championship, and we are at the Autódromo José Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix. As you can see on our left hand side of your screens, we have a new rival in the form of Max Verstappen. The young Dutchman is currently in third place in the championship, and we aim to take his third place before the ending of the season. So let's see if we can do it in time. And we are now jumping onto the results of a rain-affected qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton comes second with us occupying pole, Jason Button third, Daniel Ricciardo fourth, Raikkonen fifth, Vettel sixth, seventh, Fernando Alonso, Pascal Wehrlein in eighth, Nico Hülkenberg in ninth, and Kevin Magnussen in 10th.
You've done well to put it on pole, but we've still got work to do. Trying to cover the inside line off the start.
We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and lights out, and away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. You get a very good start, at least to conserve third place, but then we have Daniel Ricciardo already side by side with Jenson Button off the start. A very good start for the Red Bull driver, and they are already side by side through the Senna S's. There's also a little bit of a squabble behind between a Ferrari, and I believe that is Fernando Alonso, for which is 6th place, I believe, and me and Hamilton drift away. We got already a couple of cars linked to third place Daniel Ricciardo, and as we go onto the third four, I believe this is, we keep our nose ahead, in fact our full car ahead, and we consolidate our first place. So a very good start for us, as we are now checking the replay on board from the start of Jenson Button. And you can see he got a fairly decent start. He matched up to the starts that Hamilton had, but then he could not close the door on Ricciardo because he was too quick off the start, and then he just has the inside line and a better traction, a better car, and he gets the move done for P4. Right behind him you can see on his mirrors that I believe it is Raikkonen is going side by side with the British driver as well, and he gets the inside line and he gets the move done. A little bit of a contact that could have been dangerous for the Finnish driver, but nevertheless the Finnish driver got the move done. Now starting in P9 or P8, I'm not sure, I believe it was P8 for our teammate, and you can see he's trying to take a look at this battle between Vettel and Alonso. Alonso maintained his lane through the inside of the second corner, but then he couldn't make it stick around the outside, so he had to drop back. Now using the Mercedes engine, our teammate gets a wheel side by side with him, brakes later, gets the inside line and gets a very good maneuver up to P7 or so, we thought, because they tangled their wheels, and so Alonso gets a better exit as they are still side by side as they go uphill through the right-hander, but eventually our teammate concedes the place to Fernando Alonso, as we are now following Nico Rosberg, who got a very good start, even though he started well down the grid. He got knocked out, I believe, in the second qualifying session because it started raining in the second qualifying session, and it was still he had still not given it a try on the dry tires, so he got knocked out. And he got overtaken, I believe, by Force India. I believe he overtook him, but if I paid close attention to it, I think the Force India overtook him right back. So not a big start for Rosberg, as we are now in lap 3, and there's still a squabble. I believe this is for somewhat of 12th or 13th place between Valtteri Bottas and Daniel Kvyat. I believe this is. Then Bottas, I believe, got his move done, and further on the grid we have a teammate battle between Alonso and Button, and very clean maneuver by Alonso. Further down the grid we have another teammate battle between Perez and Hülkenberg, a similar move for Perez, and very easily done. He gets up to P10, I believe that was, yes it was, as you can confirm on the steering wheel. We are now jumping onto lap 5, and Sergio Perez is continuing on his charge, and now but it is now the turn of Jenson Button to get his revenge and gets himself up some place through his teammate. And as you can see, as I just mentioned, Sergio Perez continues his charge, and he got up to P9 as he comes out of third four ahead of Kevin Magnussen, as our teammate Pascal Wehrlein is just trying to find a gap to maybe split the McLaren Hondas in front of him. So let's see how that one develops. As you can see, they are all very tightly packed as we go on the first sector of lap number 6, and as you can see, both cars go side by side, but then Sergio Perez with an unbelievable move, they go 3 wide into turn 4. Pascal Wehrlein gets dropped down to P10, but Sergio Perez with an incredible move, he comes up to P7, I believe this is, maybe even P6, with an absolutely crazy maneuver. I'm sure we will see another angle of that move as he is able to hold on to his position a couple of corners later. As you can see, he was in P9, then he makes a diving maneuver on the pair of McLarens that were already side by side by that point, and he also made it stick very cleanly. They got a little bit of wheel banging, but nothing too majorly, and he got through a very impressive maneuver by the Mexican driver. As we are now in lap 7, and Lewis Hamilton, I'm not able to get him off of me, and using the RS, he comes on my inside. I have to give him space, and he gets better exit because I lost the back end, but he also has softer rubber on his tires, so it is basically an all or nothing move for him, because he needs to get past me so he can make those softer tires work, because if not, I will just eventually get the wear advantage and pull away from him. As we are now in the next lap, there are still some battling left on the McLaren teammates, and Jenson Button is still in P8, but he won't have the RS unfortunately because he just got overtaken by his teammate. And then Kevin Magnussen is trying to get something done. They go a little bit of rubber banging on with their tires, so they are still side by side as he go uphill, and I believe he has the inside line, and I believe he is going to get the move done. So very good defensive maneuver from Jenson Button to hold on to his 8th place. And speaking of 8, we move on to the 8th lap, and it is Kevin Magnussen trying once again, but this time around he got his car much further ahead than last tryout, and that allowed him to get the move done up to P7, I believe that is. And at the front, Lewis Hamilton is chasing us, and he goes out of the race. The championship leader, he could have finished it right now today with a good result, and instead he goes out in a ball of smoke with this car, and he deploys the virtual safety car. So unbelievable that he must be really heartbroken, because he could have gotten out of this race with the title, and now he has to try to end the deal at Abu Dhabi. So I'm hoping you guys don't miss the next race, because that will be the title decider. And we are now on the virtual safety car. I don't think anyone went into the pits at this time, and we are now jumping a couple of laps, and we are seeing that Pascal Wehrlein is going onto the pits for a second set of soft tires. So let's see how long he can take those, and he's going to rejoin. I believe the pack was still very close together in these early stages, so I believe he's coming out last. Yes, he's going to come out of the pits in 21st place, so last place because Hamilton retired. And we are now in lap 14. There is a battle between Jolyon Palmer, who started on the yards, I believe, and Daniel Ricciardo, I believe this is, who has meanwhile, no, that was actually Verstappen who started the race with medium tires as well, and he got the move done. As we are now watching the pit stop of the German of the Mercedes, Nico Rosberg. As you can see now, a battle between Renault and Hülkenberg for P7, and as you just saw, this pair came out in front of Nico Rosberg as Rosberg was coming out of the pits. And as we are right now in lap 19, and we are just able to see the grid as it stands right now, so as Kimi Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and I believe Jolyon Palmer have not stopped yet, and Kimi Raikkonen has actually jumped from P5 up to P2, so let's see how well he can capitalize on this strategy, because the pit window will stop right as it is predicted that the rain will start to fall. So let's see if he can prolong his stint a little bit longer so he can capitalize on one less pit stop essentially. And Max Verstappen also worth mentioned because he started 16th and got up to 18th with his start on the hard tires, as we are now in the end of lap 19 for Vettel and Ricciardo. Sebastian Vettel, who went into the pits for a set of the soft tires, is overtaking Ricciardo, who has the hard tires, so that difference allowed the Ferrari driver to get past, and he is already with a considerable gap to the Australian driver. And further back on the grid, as we start lap 20 for Max Verstappen, who started on his hards and is still on the hard tires, is now overtaking Sergio Perez, and they go a little bit over the white lines on Senna S, but nevertheless he gets the move done, as we are now on the middle of lap 21. As you can see, there are some drops of rain on that small visor on our car, so it is clearly raining, and we are just asking for our pit stop. And as you can see from the standings, Raikkonen has dropped down. He picked a set of hard tires and he's dropped down, and that is a very poor call because he essentially has to make a pit stop 2 laps later. So yeah, very poor call by either the Ferrari strategy department or Kimi Raikkonen himself, as we are now coming onto the pits for a set of brand new intermediate tires, as the track is starting to get quite greasy out there, and we are going to obviously come out of the pits in front of the pack, as we are now following the onboard of our teammate, who also fitted a set of intermediates, fresh intermediates I might add. And then just as he goes under braking for the 4th corner, he just gets a puncture on his right rear, just similarly to Grosjean in Japan, I believe it was. Fresh new tires, freshly out of the pits, and he gets a puncture. I really cannot explain what the hell happened, but well, it happened, and he has to deal with his chances for a top 10 results getting very diminished, as we now witness a very good overtaking maneuver from homeboy Felipe Massa on the Renault. I believe it was Kevin Magnussen, as we are now witnessing Kvyat battling for P13 with Renault's Palmer, I believe it is. And Jenson Button is also going to try to take a look at it. As you can see, he gets the inside line as Palmer goes very slow on the throttle, as he had towards the outside line, and he says thank you very much up to P14 and maybe also up to P13, as he goes on the inside, gets side by side with them as he goes out, and they tangle, and there's almost an accident. Jenson Button was very lucky to be able to control that one, but unfortunately that cost him the chance to hold the 13th place. So in lap 32, I believe it is 3 laps later, he's going to try once again. They're also banging wheels, and they almost crashed out once again on the Senna S, but now Jenson Button will have the slipstream, so let's see if even with his Honda engine, if he can make an overtaking opportunity work, as they go side by side. I believe they bang wheels, and then Daniel Kvyat goes very slowly out of the corner, and that makes an easy maneuver done for the British driver, as we are now on lap 34, and we are actually changing from our intermediates onto a set of full wets, as the rain is coming down quite hard, as you can see on our screens. And well, let's see how that one turns out. We obviously came out in front, and in lap 40, as you can see, we are still in lean mix because we are still with a very big deficit for the chance to finish the race with the fuel we have. So we have to try to conserve fuel, as we started the race with minus 6 laps I fuel, I believe, because I knew that it was going to rain, and I just took a gamble with low tire wear on the start due to the reduced weight due to less fuel, and then conserve in the rain, and it looks like it's paying out. There's still around 30 laps to go, and we are going to fit another set of intermediates. There is not too much happening during that full wet stint, as we are now coming out of the pits to find out that we have a massive train from P6 down to P11 led by Max Verstappen. There are yellow flags. I am completely in the dark at this point, wondering what the hell has happened with the Dutch driver. And as you can see, he got stuck on the pit limiter. I have no clue about what happened, but the Dutch driver just demolished his chances of staying in P3 on the standings for the Drivers' Championship, especially after this one, because I am leading the race, and if I win I get 10 points of a lead on the Dutchman. As you just saw, Felipe Massa just breeze off onto the distance because he did not got caught up behind the Dutchman. And here we go as well, and as you can see, shortly we will have a battle for position between Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso, who got through Max Verstappen, and they are going side by side. Let's see who gets the position done, as Fernando Alonso is probably losing out on this one as he's around the outside, but no, he commits and that turns down into the inside of the corner, and he gets an absolutely beautiful maneuver to get him through to P7, I believe, as we are now witnessing the POV from Romain Grosjean. And absolutely disgraceful for Red Bull. Max Verstappen is catching up, is holding up, I mean, to Ricciardo. Ricciardo was actually with a good chance of catching up to Vettel, as he was also actually catching up to Vettel due to the better car on the rain, it looks like. At least a better chassis, a better grip, and that allowed him to lap faster than Vettel. So that was very unfortunate, as I don't think that will happen until the end of the race. Too much of a gap, as we are now in lap 43, and another overtaking maneuver from a McLaren on Force India. This time around it was Hülkenberg and Button, with Button promoting himself one place, as we get a fairly decent start for a Manor pit crew, 2.2 seconds. And we switch onto the dry tires, as the circuit is now very dry and the rain has stopped. And as you can see, after those pit stops, we are in first, Vettel in second, Ricciardo third, Raikkonen in fifth, Bottas sixth with a very good display. Felipe Massa is up to 11th. But nevertheless, we are now jumping onto lap 71, the last lap of the Grand Prix, as there was just no overtaking action throughout that last stint, as everyone was too far apart for anything of interest to happen. So we are going through the last time through Junção. We are just going to let Valtteri Bottas get through to avoid any incidents with him, and we are going to do some waving in celebration, because we take the win as we cross over the line at País Irmão, at our brother country. Since I am Portuguese, we are going to take a win of the Brazilian Grand Prix, a very dominating performance, and I am very proud of it.
So, another fantastic victory for Manor today. Tell me, what was the key to this success?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
So now, jumping onto the race results, we took the win, followed by Sebastian Vettel, then Daniel Ricciardo in P3, with Nico Rosberg in P4, Kimi Raikkonen 5th, Valtteri Bottas in P6, Fernando Alonso in 7th, Perez in 8th, Button 9th, and Nico Hülkenberg finishing the top 10. So a good display from both McLaren and Force India, even though the rain and the misfortunes of Pascal Wehrlein and Max Verstappen might have helped those teams out. Nevertheless, a good display from them, as we are now back on our laptop, back at our motorhome, and we are leading the rivalry against Max Verstappen. And as you can see, we also caught him and overtook him, and now have a 10-point gap in the championship. We can take also Nico Rosberg in the next race for that second place at the championship, but as it stands, Nico Rosberg is the only one who is able to take the championship win from Lewis Hamilton. As we can see, Pascal Wehrlein with no points scored is also 1 point behind both of the Toro Rosso, so points finish for him can make him jump both of those positions. And as you can see, not too much changing in the constructors. They are pretty much set in stone, not to changes to be forecasted to happen. So this is it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, stick around for more videos. I'm sure I got plenty of content to entertain you guys in the channel. If this video interested you, give it a thumbs up or give it a thumbs down, because it's right beside it and you can use it as you may well please. Hope to see you guys in the next race in Abu Dhabi, and have a wonderful day.